You done sticking your feet in cactus? We're making tapaderos in this class today. I'm Zach Holyoke of Bird and Saddlery. Let's go ahead and start on it. So the first step that we're going to do with our tapaderos, I like to lay these out. I'm going to build these smooth out today. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take my number 2 horseshoe edger. I'm going to go ahead and just edge all the way around this tapadero. Make sure when you're edging, you've got nice consistent long pushes through your project. Makes your edges really nice and clean. So I got the top side done, so we're going to go ahead and go on the back side. I always like to start in the corner and make one big long run. These turns can kind of be a little hard to make it around. I will make some little kind of sharp, choppy turns right there, but I'm always making sure I come back and even them out. So now I can come in and make this one big long turn. So from here, I'm going to grab my burnish rag that's got a little bit of beeswax on it. I'm going to hurry and burnish up these edges and throw a little dye on these. Burnished around that one. So now I'm going to go ahead and take my dye pen, run just on the outside of what I've edged. I'm going to go all the way around the outside of my pattern with my dye. Now I've got my edges dyed. Now we're going to go ahead and burnish them one more time. Make these edges really nice and smooth and shiny. All right, now we got all our edges really nice and edged, dyed, and burnished. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to flip this over to the rough outside. I'm going to go ahead and take my pattern that I have here, and I'm going to lay it in here. This pattern gives you the holes for the inside lacing and where your bolts should go. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these. Copy it on the other side. Now, we're going to flip this tapadero back over to the smooth outside. And there's little marks down on this end of this edge. This is the edge we're going to be lacing. There's little marks right here that we're going to just draw in. This is going to tell us where to stop with our lacing. So we're going to take that mark that we put on the front and we're going to make sure we come back and transfer it to the back so we know where to stop for our holes. Make sure you transfer the mark to both sides. So we have our marks down here where our lacing's going to go and end. We have our marks on the inside. Now, we want to punch out our holes now before we fold it together and start lacing it. It's really hard when this thing's put back together and you're trying to punch holes in the side of it. I'm going to go ahead and start with this mark up the top. This is for when your bolt goes through your stirrup. So on that hole, I'm going to use a 13/32 punch. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tapadero. I want to kind of lay it in here where that hole's going to be. And I kind of just want to rock it back and see where these holes are. This pattern will work for any stirrup. All you have to do, if you need be, you can move these holes up or down for your lacing around your stirrup. This one is matching pretty well. I've got it sitting. The one lacing is going to be sitting in here and the other one's going to be sitting here. That's about where we want it. So I can go ahead and keep punching these holes out. We'll just repeat on the other side. Okay, now we have our holes punched for our lacing that's going to hold the tapadero onto our stirrup. So now we're going to move on to our lacing holes. So we're going to come down here on this kind of little curved but straight edge. This is where your lacing is going to be. This is going to be your front of your tapadero. Okay, now we're going to come in here with our wing divider set at a 1/2 inch, and we're going to run it down the face to that mark that we've transferred over. On this side, I'm going to start from that hole that we've marked and come back in. So now I'm going to come in and kind of find where center is, where those come together. So I'm going to make a little center mark, and I'm going to come 1/2 inch off that. Then from there, I'm going to go a 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and a 1/2 inch. And I'm going to just keep working these 1/2 inch dots all the way down to our mark. Okay, that last one ended up right on that mark that we transferred over from the front. Now we'll come back to this side, transfer over. So now we have little marks on where to put our punch. Now we're going to start punching out all these little dots for our lacing. So I'm going to come in, right, split the difference with your punch over the line on the dot. I'm going to use a 9/32 dry punch to punch out my holes for my lacing. Okay, now we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side of our tapadero. All right, now we got all our holes punched in our tapadero. Let's set this side aside for just a second and let's prep our lace. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to grab my lacing that I've cut. This is about 6 feet. We've got it down to about 7 ounce. So all we really need to do to this lace is we really just need to point the one end on this. After we've prepped our lacing, we're going to go ahead and start lacing our tapadero together. I would recommend having a spike awl next to you, handy, so we can help feed some of this lacing through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up this tapadero and I'm going to come run through the one side of it. And I'm going to run my lace, probably leave you a good inch and a half right here. Go ahead and we'll fold this in half. And this is where the spike awl comes in. We need to find that hole again on the other side. So we need to push that tail out. We need to widen the hole because it's got to come out through that same hole we just started with. So now we've widened out the hole so we can get this lace going back through it. We're going to go ahead, shove it back through. You might have to grab some needle nose pliers to help you get this going through here. Can get a little tight trying to pull these through. Once you get enough through, you can hold it with your hands. Go ahead and start feeding it through. Make sure you get your lace really nice and tight right here. I'm going to reach in and grab this little tail. Make sure it's pulled nice. So now from here we're just going to come back. We're going to go through this hole. Just keep lacing it around. And it's just really what it is a whip stitch. We're just going to come over the top, through the bottom, and once you got it pulled tight again, you're going to come over the top and through the bottom. We'll just keep doing this till we hit the very last one. So we're on our last one. We've created a loop like we have been for the last little while. We're going to come in here with our spike awl. I'm going to widen out that back hole just a little bit. I'm going to take the end of our lacing. We're going to open up the tapadero because we want the tip of the lacing to come through the middle of the tapadero. Maybe. Okay, so we got it pulled through. Now we can get our hand on it. Just pull it in through. Just pull it nice and snug. And from there, we'll just cut this lace off. And then that's all you need for the lacing of your front of your tapaderos. This is so tight right here, it will take a very long time for this to wiggle out. I wouldn't even worry about it. So now from here, what I'd like to do is I like to open up the tapadero the best I can. So after lacing, you're getting that last lace done. We're gonna go ahead and kind of open up the tapadero. I'm gonna come in with my shoe hammer. I just kind of want to start tapping this seam. So now what it's done, it's kind of widened it out, kind of smashed these around the front. Do a little bit more here. I'm going to run this over and I'm going to kind of tap down that very first knot. It was really kind of bulky. I'm going to help it kind of set in there. All right, so now after we've got the front of our tapadero lace, we're going to go ahead and we're going to install our stirrup, start putting our lace around our stirrup and our screws and our conchos. So take your stirrup, we're going to take this top bolt out real fast. We're going to go ahead and pull the bolt. So now what we'll do is we'll take our stirrup, we're going to lay it on the inside of our tapadero. Go ahead and we're going to replace the bolt back in. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to put it on the outside of the tapadero, start bringing it through, make sure your bar's in there. Might have to get a little pressure on these. These stirrups like to widen out. I'm going to kind of keep this loose. We still don't have our strings in through here. So now with the new piece of string, we're going to go ahead, we're going to tip the one end of it. Then I'm going to come down, I'm going to find the other end. We're going to tip this too. Now, I'm going to come and find middle. I'm going to fold them in half and lay them down. I'm going to tip these both at the same time, so when you're done, you have two strings. All right, so now we're going to take one of the tips of our two strings we've created. I'm going to start feeding it through, and we're going to go around the stirrup, coming back to me. So we're coming through the hole, back towards me, so I can grab a hold of it and start pulling it through. Now we'll come around, feed it back through the other side, or the bottom hole. We're only going to maybe leave about 6 to 8 inches. We'll go ahead and cut that. Now we can use this bottom half for the other string. So same deal, I'm going to run it back towards me so I can grab the tip. Going to go around the stirrup. Might kind of have to influence it around to go through the hole. Going to grab our needle nose, grab it, pull it the rest of the way through. Grab a hold of these and pull on them pretty good. We want to kind of make these level on our strings. We're a little short here. Now we're about level. Okay. So now what we're going to do, we're going to lay this on our side. We're going to take one of our conchos, leather conchos. And feed our strings through it. Tighten it down. All right, now we'll go ahead and take another one. We'll install it on the top. We did not point this. Make sure your ends are pointed. They don't like to feed through conchos very well when they're not pointed. Go ahead, feed through your leather concho. Make sure they're tight down to your tapadero. Okay. Now we're going to go ahead and take a wood screw and we're going to set this wood screw right in the middle of the concho, down into the stirrup. You don't want to use very long screws, maybe 3/4 inch if you can find them. If you can't find 3/4 inch, I would recommend cutting the tops off of them. Okay, so now since we have our leather conchos screwed down, our strings out, we can go ahead and start installing some nice silver conchos over our leather ones, cover up our screws. So now since we have our metal conchos on here, we're going to go ahead and make blood knots. And what a blood knot is how you attach strings to a saddle. And you want to take and you want to cut through your top one just enough your bottom one can feed through. You can take your needle nose, put it in the cut, twist it sideways, kind of open that cut so you can feed the bottom string through. Right here, make sure you pull really hard, make sure you set that knot in there. Now the same thing, we're going to cut through the top one, put your needle nose through, open that up. Go ahead and bring your string through. Make sure they're sitting flat. I like to take, after I bled my strings together, I like to kind of bring them down and just kind of tap on them. Get them kind of flat. So we'll do the others. The same thing to the other strings on the bottom. Fold these back down and give them a little tap. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to do the other side. So now we've got these both blood knotted. Now we're going to just fold them over and give them a little tap with the hammer so they can lay down really nice and flat. So now to finish up your tapadero, we're going to take and give her just a little spritz of water on this, on the outside of it. Both sides. What we're looking for is right here. Want to take and kind of flare these out just a little bit off the back. We're going to take and start kind of pushing right here. We're going to make kind of a divot. Kind of mold it in here. You want kind of some creases right here and just kind of a nice mold down through the bottom. This would be the bulldog look of a tapadero. So we just made the one tapadero today. All the steps that we used today to build this is the exact same for the other side. Now you're ready to take on the cactus, snow, rain, whatever, keep your feet warm. That's how you lace and install a tapadero. Thank you for taking this class. Hopefully this helps you on your next stirrup adventure. If you like more videos like this, please like and subscribe to our channel.